Predictions are great. We all use predictions to prove our strategy. My prediction yesterday, those that joined me, the SPY was going to $440.12 on the high. Remember yesterday, futures opened up green, and I mentioned they would sell off at open. I was looking for support at 437 and a high of 440. I was damn close. I said 440 and 12 cents. Now it was $440.11 was the high, and I said later this week I'm anticipating 444 on the SPY. So let's remember that because that gets into my strategy. Now what happened? SPY dropped to 437. It added to my watch list. 436 and change. I bought my first SPY call. I was wrong. It dropped to 435 and change. Now, the key is you want to journal everything because yesterday, although my trading was great, I actually screwed up. I really screwed the pooch yesterday. My strategy was the SPY was going to $444 by Wednesday. My entry into 438 calls that expired on Wednesday was $1.71 for my first couple of trades, understanding that if I was correct, that trade would be worth $6. 444, 438, the difference, $600 per contract. So that was my strategy. SPY was going to 444. Yesterday, I called out 440 and 12 cents. I missed by a penny. So let's get to my trades. And remember, journal everything, because if you don't write down how you screwed up, again, my strategy was 444. I'm out of a bunch of my calls. The SOX L, I thought Nvidia was going to run into earnings. I was in SOX L. I took 102% yesterday. It's $1 full higher pre-market this morning. What am I still in? Palantir options that were actually red yesterday. So what did I do? I sold the good trade and I kept the bad trade. All right. So big mistake. Journal that shit. All right. So let me just share with you guys yesterday. I thought the market was going to go down at open again, right? And then we're going to shoot up to 440. So what did I add to my watch list? I added only SPY calls. I'm likely to trade these once the market finds support. However, you got to wait for support. Looking for support at 437 as per my original strategy. Not there yet, so you're waiting. Broke 437. Still feels early. So that was the call. Same looking at the SPY list. All right, finally bought one. 177. Bought another at 180. It shot up to 195. But guess what? The market dropped. So now we're at 168, 154. I'm like, holy shit. 138. My average of $171 was getting crushed. It touched $130. What did I do? I still had the same strategy. Just because the market was selling. And let's remember, Thursday was a huge selling day. Friday, we dipped in the morning and then recovered with strong volume. So going into yesterday's trading, I told you, I was bullish. I was correct, but the market dipped yesterday first. So again, my personal account, what did I do? I added 42 contracts. I was looking for $2. Remember that number, $2. I was looking for $2 in and out. Stupid me, right? Because where did these go to? Oh, $1.75, $1.86, boom, $2.30. I already got out of these things. $2.53, V-shaped recovery. $3.04 end of day. They closed at $2.71. Now, the point is, I gave myself till Wednesday to be correct. Why the hell was I not holding until I at least got that 440 number I was looking for? So big freaking mistake. So how do we make up for a mistake like that? Well, we don't make a mistake. We accept the mistake and we move on. I exited SOXL. I took 102%. That shit's up $1 since I exited. 21.53 exit. It's at like 22.50 this morning. And again, I still think Nvidia is going to run into earnings. Take AMD with it. Remember, AMD was 123, and I'm still in Palantir. Remember, I sold my XOXL for 102%, and I kept the red trade. Now, here's the thing about Palantir, because I was actually thinking about exiting each of the last 3 days. Yesterday after the market closed, I saw at 7 p.m., somebody actually bought 10,000 shares of Palantir after hours at like 7:02 p.m. Nobody trades a stock like that. Now, I saw a bear on the other side that was pushing and manipulating the stock down. Every time it would come up on good volume, they'd push it down on light volume. However, that bear is now facing a bull because somebody bought after hours. So I might be chancing it. And I'll put big R for risk on that, but I'm going to hold my Palantir shares through Nvidia earnings. At least that is my plan. If I change my plan, I will post it on Discord. All right, so let's get rid of Discord right now. We're not going to look up some algorithms today. Instead, we are going to look at a number of stock flows, actual charts. Imagine that. So let's do that. Good. See, now I was worried Palantir. You don't think you guys can see this morning, and I'm sorry for talking about this. This is the one red trade that I'm in, so I want to talk about it because I almost sold 2 times for a loss, and then I saw something yesterday. So again, this morning, pre-market, it was struggling at 71, then it was struggling at 80. They were putting up walls on the reverse side. I know there is a bull involved. How do I know? I saw 10,000 shares yesterday. So 1485. Now, what am I looking at on the 15-minute chart? Let's go back a little more. Let's go to the 30-minute chart. 30-minute chart. Maybe the 15-minute chart was better. 15-minute chart. Well, you can see the dip. Either one. This dip. I'm looking for this dip to get filled. It's a crater. Okay, volume was strong. I saw volume strong here. Then somebody unloaded. I still think there were bearish positions. So it doesn't really surprise me if we go out a little longer on this one. Again, I'm looking for it to fill this gap right here. I hope it gets done by this week, but I don't anticipate that. I would gladly take about 80 cents. My $15 call is about 80 cents per option. But again, I plan to hold. So if Palantir does shoot up, I will be the beneficiary. All right, what other stocks do we want to look at? Let's look at the 5 minutes so we can see kind of what happened yesterday. All right, so let's go to my top of my list, see where Bitcoin is, 26,000. As long as it holds 25,900, you're okay there. And again, coin took a lot of inflow yesterday. I put that in public Discord. Unfortunately, I can't show you public Discord, but if you want to join our Discord, I will put the link up, platform.com, right? And that should work right there. For anybody that wants to join, again, you get public Discord, which has public chat, some public watch lists, private Discord. You do have to pay for that. Those are the institutional feeds. All right. So with that said, I'm going to take that off now. Do I think this SOX L is going to run today? Yeah. I think Nvidia is going to pump into earnings. I'm still in Palantir. AMD literally or technically can run to 118 before I think it might see some resistance. 121. It was as high as 124 when earnings came out, which were good. So, yeah, I mean, I didn't realize that the SOX L went from where did it go? From $28 down to like $20. So it technically lost 40%. Now, understand it's a 3X ETF. So technically the underlying issues only lost like 14%, but you're talking about a 42% drop. So the fact that we just pumped from $20 to $22, 10%, right? You still have another 10%, $24 wouldn't surprise me, $25. If Nvidia does pop on earnings, and understand if it pops on earnings, it's probably going to be $495 going into earnings. I think it closed at $478. It's at an all-time high. So earnings estimates are what, $2.07 per share. I happen to think they're coming in closer to $2.42, which would be a nice surprise. Revenue is up like 646% year over year. And let's remember, last quarter was the exciting quarter for them. Okay, so let's go into some other stocks. Sorry, I get carried away sometimes. Let me just see. That's a little bigger. All right, so what do? Every morning, besides looking at Discord, and I'll show you guys what I look up there, I'll go to my, not my analytics, I'll go to my chart. So I'm looking at any midday huge volume. See, we have huge volume end of day, huge volume beginning of the day. Those are institutional plays, okay? I'm looking for huge volume during the day, something up here. So I don't see that here. AMD didn't see it. Palantir didn't see it, right? Disney, I saw some buying, but that was just at the bottom. Again, we spoke about Disney being $84. It's only up, $1, $2 since then. Uber is interesting. Everything I think about Uber, I actually get wrong. It looks strong, and then they sell it off. It looks weak, and they're buying the crap out of it. So I just removed Uber from there. Let's go to Nvidia. Now, those that don't believe me in Nvidia, right? People say it's retail. It is 100% not retail buying this stock. It is institutional holding companies. Yes, they're buying at this level. When you look at this volume and you look at this inflow, and again, it popped from here, right? That 404 number was pretty good. It went up to 448. We came back down, tested that 404 or 406 number, and we're back up again, and Nvidia has earnings. All right. Google, let's go back to the 5 minute for Google. I'm just looking for somebody to pop. Yes, Google, I've seen some interesting action. So what will I do? I'll check out Google's net flow on the Flow and Algorithms channel in our Discord. Why? Because every time I see a lot of good spikes I saw that with Meta as well, but I wanted to be in Meta at 282. And I almost dropped the information right here. And I was like, shit, I might be late. And then I saw an increased spike in volume here. And I was like, oh, man. But we faded higher again. Meta went up another 2% after that. So, yeah, Meta, Google. I won't chase Meta, though. Coin. I saw this and I mentioned this yesterday. So when did I get into my options? Right on this red downward cycle. 74, was it 74.36? So we were a little higher than that here, right about here. Okay, so it might have been later in the day. It might have been right here, actually. With that said, let's go to the 45-minute because it's popping this morning, 77. So it's up, what, $2 this morning. Go back to the 5-minute chart. You're talking about 74.36. You're up $1, right? You're up more this morning. Okay, so again, I wouldn't chase coin now. But when I saw this influx yesterday, I knew I was interested. Now they pushed it up here, and I was like, wow, I actually pushed up to like $76. And then it came down, and I'm like, okay, got to look for a red candle to get in, all right? I looked for the smallest one right here. This one was too large. Smallest one, I probably got in on this green side here. Again, when I entered, I was red right away. So Tesla, let's look at Tesla. Understand, volume was spiking. The reason I didn't like Tesla yesterday is because the put in the algo flow was completely bearish. So as I made a video yesterday for Discord and I said, hey, man, sometimes the flows look so bearish. However, the market will continue to fade higher on lighter volume. That's what we saw yesterday. Volume was strong on Friday. So let's go into my SPY estimation. Let's just remove this. And let's get the dark pool levels for the SPY up. Share screen. Let's go for the dark pool levels. Chrome tab. Here we go. Discord. Boom. All right. Let me share it. And then get over to the right screen. Add. All right. Good. You guys see it. All right. Let's get over to Discord. Nope. That's me from this morning. Got to like my video from this morning. It's very important. All right. So let's go to the flow and algos. All right, I want to look at the dark pool levels. Here's what people are looking at. Net flow of the market spiking, puts haven't gone down. Just because puts are up here doesn't mean the market can't go higher. That is my point. Now, if you saw puts spike, then I would say the market is going to drop. If you saw calls spike, I'm assuming calls are probably spiking out of the gate this morning, but we'll see that. Okay, so let's get into that dark pool level. This is a flow sum, so let's just probably Nvidia. It looks like Nvidia. Oh, it's Amazon. All right, so let's just talk about a flow sum before we look at the dark pool levels. What are they doing? Well, buys and sells are basically even. Okay, out of the money. Most of them are out of the money. Probably like 70% are out of the money. So buys and sells are even. So you're looking at what they're buying and selling. Well, shit, you're probably about 71% calls. Then you look at the flow, open interest, right? The premiums are obviously going to be a little more for the calls. All right, volume's almost 2-to-1. So you're talking about a 66%. This is bullish. So I'm sure the person probably looked at the net flow above that. Dark pool level, SPY. So we look at these. What were they buying? 439.31, 439, 438. They were probably selling this one at bid. 438, buying at ask, 439.60. So does it surprise me? These are huge block amounts. Talking about $500 million, $250 million, 439. Do you think they're buying in? Here's a great question for everybody. Do you think they're buying in at 439 on the SPY with $250 million or $400 million because they're only looking for 1%? No. They're looking for the markets to continue to go higher. So if I'm a Wall Street investor, what am I taking on the next move? Probably like 2.75, maybe 3%. So now if I figure in 3%, I say, or 2.75, let's just say 2%. I'll say that's 8 points. So the SPY, I would look for it maybe to reject at 448. And I made this mention yesterday when I thought the SPY was going to 440. I actually think we're going to 446, 447, 448 at that point. And that might come on Thursday and it might come on Friday. It might come post Nvidia earnings again. Nvidia earnings, we go through the roof. These people buying $400 million worth of SPY are probably like Nvidia through the roof, SPY at 470, and then I can unload it right after Nvidia's earnings. Again, institutional thought process. How do I know that? I work for institutions. Simple as that. All right, so let's pull it up again and let's get into some other stuff. Let's go here. Okay, let's look at that dark pool level so we can make a prediction for today. So we already know that my prediction, let's see, DP levels, SPY. We already know that my prediction is bullish because I think we're going to 444. So I look at the dark pool levels and I say, okay, well, here's a dark pool level, 444.11. There's a ghost zone right here, 441.56. 439.02, they were buying the SPY in the dark pool. So that tells me we're going to push through this level, right? Weren't we already at 442 this morning? So I would look at 444.11 to possibly reject. If it does not, understand these two dark pool levels here are pretty freaking big, 27 billion. So do I think the SPY is going to 446.65? No, but when it gets there, okay, when it gets to 446.65, which is the reason I said 446, 447, 448, it's going to reject right in this area. They're not going to let it pass this 446 to 449 level. So again, we can have a good run in this market, right? And if you follow the charts, it went like this. Here, I'll just show you guys like this. It went like this, then it's a bigger mountain. Then we came over. There's always a way up. So when we get to that up, we get either continuation in that diagonal higher and see 470 good Nvidia earnings. The Fed says something productive at Jackson Hole, or the market shits on itself and flips over. So, I mean, if you have a good strategy going into Nvidia earnings on Wednesday, congratulations. What am I likely to do? I'm likely to clear everything out by Wednesday, midday, end of day. Why? Because Nvidia earnings scare me. It'll either skyrocket the market, and if it does, there'll be a ton of shit that follows Nvidia. And what I might do is say, well, Nvidia had the earnings, but there's no reason that First Solar should be up 18% because Nvidia had. I mean, there are going to be stocks that are going to benefit from Nvidia's earnings, if in a positive or in a negative, that either shouldn't sell off as hard as they're going to, or shouldn't go up as much as they're going to. All right. With that said, if you guys have any questions about your stocks, please comment. Thanks for all the great information. You're one of the very few financial YouTubers I watch. Underrated. Yeah, you know what? I mean, listen, I appreciate that. That is so humbling, and I appreciate. That's why I asked for like thumbs up, because everything's algorithms. I appreciate comments. One guy texts me or sends me a message after every video. He's obviously not from this country, but he just tells me how creative the editing is, how great this is, how great that is, and we don't even do that stuff, which just means he really likes watching. So I appreciate those that really like watching. I appreciate those that come back. Other people blow up on Twitter, on YouTube. I watch some of their videos. They're not really educating the more simpleton trader. Okay, even the experienced trader understands what's going on, but they're just talking about. So I got in here because I saw a double inverse curve reverse section crossing over the 5 minute, 2 minute. And did you guys get in with me? I turned 1,000 into 100,000. That's what they'll say. Meanwhile, I looked at the dude that said that because I have experience and a little history with him. He actually took 5,000 into 100,000. So freaking kudos. But don't lie to people. It's 5 into 100. It's not 1. What he likely did, it was a Robinhood account. He likely added money as his position was wrong. He's adding. Finally gets a good position, right? It's $1,000. Then it pops to 8,000. Once you have 8,000 to play with, it's a lot easier. You appreciate what I do. What do I think about DraftKings? Here's the thing. I took DraftKings off my watch list. Why? Because like Uber, I would see huge block trades that were bearish, and then DraftKings would shoot up. It would almost like squeeze. Same thing with Uber. And I'm like, well, those trades are telling me the stock should go down, yet it went in the other direction. So I'll give you my analysis of DraftKings, right? Because we called it. And DraftKings, again, I hate the company. It had great freaking earnings and was up to $33. So unfortunately, here's what you're seeing. Nobody's really trusting that again. You're seeing inflow, and it does look like a turnaround. And as long as inflow continues, you'll see a rebound. However, volume is small. So what you need is an institution, a hedge fund, a holding company to say, we need to add DraftKings. And when you see the volume spiking, and if you follow DraftKings, you'll know what their average day volume is. But let's just say it's like 23 million. You'll see it spiking to 30 million on consecutive days. When you see volume spiking, and I saw Palantir dropping the other way on Friday, consecutive days, huge outflow. I mean, it was trading in a 10-minute span, 4 million shares. It used to trade 1 million, and that would be busy. So again, that's what made me fearful. Almost sell. I saw some buying yesterday. I'm going to hold. DraftKings, yeah, a 5-day chart. I mean, it looks pretty decent. There was some buying yesterday. People probably think it's the low. Institutions will be adding. It's a buy and hold. I wouldn't play options on DraftKings, but if I was in DraftKings, I would definitely hold for at least $33, or I would hold until I saw the SPY throw up. when I saw the SPY throw up, let's say the SPY shoots up to 470 and rejects, or 460 and rejects, then I would say, okay, it's time to sell out some positions, let shit come down, and then reinvest. Thoughts on Riot? Interesting, because Bitcoin's struggling, and although I thought Bitcoin was going to pop to 33,000, I've heard other people talk that Bitcoin is due to come down to 24. Now, here's the catch. If the SPY goes up to 460, 470, Nvidia has good earnings, right? It carries the market higher. Then we might see that 32,000 pop on Bitcoin, which would make Riot, Mara, Coinbase very, very excellent to get into right about now. However, I'm not one to call the bottom. I used to call the bottom, and Riot was like my worst trade of 2021. I lost over $100,000 trading Riot options. So I don't mess with Riot. I don't mess with Riot. I would say it was going higher, it would go. So I had a great year in 2021. Riot just crushed me. It was like my nemesis. It was my kryptonite. So if I was to look at the Riot chart, I mean, it's going to look similar. It's going to look similar to everything. Everything looked like it had a bounce. How do we know it was going to bounce? Because the S&P 500 hit that 442 level. Riot, looking at it, they started buying it at $11 and change. However, sell outflow was strong yesterday. I mean, this is what you're looking at. So again, yeah, I mean, if Bitcoin drops to 24,000, you know where Riot's going to be? It's going to be $5.80. If Bitcoin goes up to $33, you know where Riot's going to be? $14, $15, $16, probably $16. So you're talking about a 60% move upward, 40% move downward. If Nvidia misses, do I see them marking for yes? Yes. If Nvidia somehow misses and everybody is wrong on Nvidia, and again, they're piling in. People on Twitter, or X as they call it now, are pointing out Nvidia put sweeps, but understand that could be protection. I've seen more call sweeps. It's probably like a 58 to maybe 42%, calls over puts. But yes, if Nvidia misses and it ran up into earnings, and we'll say it's 495 by Wednesday, okay, which means it basically ran like 20% from 406 to 495 into earnings, and they miss, shit, I could expect a 30% drop. You might see AMD lose about 19%, something like that, 18%, really get hammered. So if you want to play Nvidia earnings to the bear side, and again, I'm a bull. I think Nvidia is going to beat earnings. Wall Street's piling in. It's not retail investors that are buying. But let's say they miss. Yeah, I mean, you're going to see the market tank freaking hard. I mean, again, you want to play a small position? Great. Would I use Nvidia? No, I would use AMD. I saw Micron had a bearish look to it, so I might take a Micron. I might look at Taiwan Semiconductors, look at the flow. I want to find the most bearish chip stock so that if Nvidia falls, this chip stock falls the same amount. But likewise, if you think Nvidia is going to beat, which I do, and again, the market's been buying it up since Friday, so we're going to get to that pivotal point Wednesday after hours, and that can lead into Thursday's Fed meeting. Remember, it's like Wednesday and Thursday this week. It's going to be an intense time. So if you don't have the stomach for it, then please be careful, because you're going to see a lot of choppiness. You're going to see the market drop 3 points. Then you're going to see the market shoot up 4 points. You know what? You say you're scared about Nvidia. I almost looked at Nvidia the other day because I thought it was going to run into earnings. Again, that's why I played this SOXL 3-time ETF, and I played Palantir. The Nvidia calls I was looking at were like $6 and change. They were far out of the money. They are $2,400 right now, and they were far out of the money, and going into earnings, it just might explode. All right, so let's see what other stocks I got on my list. Again, I have the same stocks because I trade the same stocks. All right, the stock sell is up close to 4%. Holy shit. Nvidia 2.45. Palantir, man, I wish it was doing better. 2.21. I thought we'd be a little higher by now. I mean, I know there's still a bear. I know there's still a bull. So I guess we're going to have to wait for the market to open. But then again, the SPY, which was up 0.6, is only up 0.47. All right, let's talk about our ranges today. Right? Weren't we talking about SPY ranges? Here we go. We're entering Tuesday. Monday, although it didn't happen yesterday, is generally a 3-point range. I called the top. I was wrong on the bottom. Tuesday, usually the range expands a little. So I'm going to say 3.25 point range for the SPY today. So let's see where we are. 440, 140. What's likely to happen? We're likely to dip to 440 at some point during the day. 440.11, which is yesterday's high, or maybe a little above that. 440.20. probably after open, dip to that level and then go up. So wherever the low is on the SPY, if you want to be bullish like I am, okay, like I was yesterday, like I mentioned Friday, the market was getting bought up. So I'm trying to find the low. If I think the low is going to be 440, like 20 cents, and that is the low. Let's just say I nail the freaking low. The same way yesterday, pre-market, I said the high was going to be $440.11, and it was no $440.12. It was $440.11. I missed by a penny yesterday pre-market. My prediction is pretty good. So we drop 440.19 cents, find support, quickly bounce, and then I say 3.25 points. So 3.25 points from $440.20 would be $443.37. So I'm not actually sure we get to that 444 today. We probably will. Every time I tell you, just, it's going to be cautious. I really think we're going to that 440, 461. So maybe the range expands a little. You got to really tell by volume. So here's what I'm looking at. 9:30 market opens, 10 a.m. You want to look at the SPY. If the SPY is greater than 10 million in volume, that's a decent day. If it's 14 million, very strong day. If it's 6 million, 7 million, like it was yesterday, you'll notice that it's a weak day. When it's a weak volume day in the market, anything is possible. You can see the market drop 3 points, and you can see it bought up 3 points like that. You can see it shoot up 3 points, and then you can see it drop. If it's a strong volume day, if you're looking at 11 million, 10 million, then the next you want to check is by 11 a.m. You want to see 20 million by 11 a.m. If you see it sooner than 11 a.m., strong volume day. If you're at 11 a.m. and you're looking at 14.5 million, weak volume day, anything is possible. That is the best thing to end this on. Remember, patience, cash account, complete strategy, and then execute. My execution sucked. Those SPY calls that I ripped on, I think I made 40-something%. I could have made 120%. Weak. I'm still in 7 contracts, though, and those 7 contracts are going to be up over 100% today. So clap. See you guys later. Thanks for joining me. Head over to Discord if you'd like. Again, going to shoot that pre-market video. Here's the link if anybody needs it. I posted it earlier, and I'll see everybody.